What would you do if you were suddenly thrown into a prison cell for making what you thought were just harmless jokes, made in good fun? Well, that's precisely what happened to a member of the Looksbacksy community.
Yikes, Drathan. Have you tried being confident?
So, today's episode focuses on internet safety, but specifically for people who are chronically online. If you consider yourself a normal netizen who just posts photos on Instagram to friends and family, or a boomer who unironically thinks AI-generated women are real, you're probably safe. I'm talking about people who have that chronically online personality. The ones who spend all day arguing with strangers over the internet about their facial proportions, and just say some things that would probably land them in hot water IRL. I've always considered myself too weird for normies, but too normal for the weirdos online, so I'm kinda stuck in this middle ground between both worlds. I've never really found the chronically online culture to be that entertaining. Like those guys that unironically use the Inkwell terminology outside of this space and throw in some other things like schmurg or something else to sound funny. I don't care about Vril, Agartha, Tradwive, Soyjacks, and all that stuff. Like, even NT Gen Z slang on TikTok is somehow more bearable than this. But I was inspired to make this video a few weeks ago when someone I talked to on Discord, who I will keep anonymous, sent me a news article and a link to one of the PSL adjacent forums. Now, I don't even use this site anymore, but I know this forum likes its privacy, and the least I can do is respect that. I know there are plenty of brain-dead gray cells on there already, so I'm not going to bother mentioning it by name, but if you know, you know. Basically, the information I was given revolves around another user on the forum, who I'll be referring to as M. Long story short, M got into legal trouble because of a female TikToker, whose username I also won't mention. To begin with, M was making dozens of posts about this girl, and these posts weren't just obsessive worshipping posts, but also threats to rape and kill her. But as if making dozens of posts on some random woman wasn't bad enough, Emma also started making music about her. I mean, this music is go obvious tier, so take that as you will.
Still holding on tight, still paralyzed by you. Wish I could be more like knees, pussy so loose, blood boiling at night, fantasize what it do. Some direct inside, not trying to be round the bush. I wanna strangle her to death with a cable. Better yet, leave her brutally disabled.
But just obsessing over a woman isn't enough to be a criminal offense. Even in M's place of residence, Northern Ireland, where internet laws dictating what you can post have become stricter. And that begs the question, where did things go wrong? Digging deeper, we learned that M started messaging her frequently until she blocked him, and then posted these messages onto the forum. However, I wouldn't really consider this to be a particularly serious offense in the eyes of the law. It might only warrant a harassment charge. But where things really went south for this 20 IQ brainlet is when he literally showed up to her house and took a selfie in front of it. Like, some of these dudes do it to themselves, I swear to God. On top of that, he even posts a video of it and says he said hi to her from outside a pub. At this point, it's basically over. Eventually, the only way people on the forum found out M got arraigned is because of a news article. I'll censor out his name, but I'll show you what it says.
A Belfast student allegedly made online posts about wishing rape and death on a woman in a bid to get her attention. The High Court has heard. He is accused of a campaign of stalking, which also involved recording dozens of love songs and publishing a photograph of himself outside the victim's home. The 21-year-old was granted bail after a judge warned of the consequences for any such sinister activity. Mr. Justice Paul McLaughlin said, "This is a disgraceful and shocking means of communication, which must be thoroughly condemned in light of the terrifying effect on the victim. Kill of in the city. Faces charges of stalking and threatening communications on March 28th. The court heard police were initially alerted last June after the complaint discovered her TikTok videos and associated sexual fantasies had appeared on a men's self-improvement website. Despite joining the forum and asking to stop posting about her, he allegedly continued the campaign before taking a photo outside her home. Messages posted on the site included, "She's an evil bitch, I hope she dies," and "murder on my mind 24/7," and "I support the rape and killing of women in real life." It was further claimed he recorded more than 30 songs about the woman, uploading them on YouTube and music streaming platform SoundCloud. During interviews, stated his intention was to piss her off.
Guys, he's looking at 1 to 10 years in prison if he's convicted, 10 years for what started as just shitposting on the forum. Sometimes the stupidity of the people on these sites is almost insane to me. I mean, I don't even know what to say here. Sometimes you gotta be thankful your one-itis just blocked you before it turned into something like this. The desperation a lot of you guys have is just mind-boggling to me. And if you think this is just an isolated case, you'd be wrong. There's this other user on the same site who went by the username Short, Ugly, and Brown, who was just referred to as Nate back in the day. Although I have to make it clear, he has no connection to my friend Nate from my other videos on this channel. Now, Nate would frequently post about his one-itis, Faith, on the site day in and day out. And unlike M's posts, which were unhinged and violent from the get-go, Nate's posts were just sad, if anything. In his first post regarding her, he mentions how he made eye contact with her for like 5 seconds. I mean, I can't really clown on him for acting this way, since everyone was this way back in high school. But what I can clown on him for is posting about this stuff to the fucking forum. I mean, what you expect was gonna happen, bro? For several months in early 2020, this was Nate's go-to routine. Observe his one-itis, post about it, observe his one-itis, post about it, over and over again. He would ask forum users whether he should pay Faith to kiss him, pay Faith to touch her hair, among many other things. He even taped a picture of her to a pillow and did some unsavory things to it. Things got even more heated when other forum users found Faith's full name and the school she attended. Users flooded her YouTube channel, made shirts with vulgar messages and her face on them, all while Nate tried to get the users to stop this. But we all know there is no asking nicely when it comes to the internet. One day, Faith hears about what Nate did, and he was swiftly taken to court. Faith was granted a civil harassment restraining order against Nate, and she explains that she was, quote, too afraid to come to campus out of fears that Nate would grip her. In court, Faith explained that she wanted to know where Nate was at all times for her own safety, and testified that Nate always faced to stare at her in school. As punishment, Nate was eventually expelled from school, which probably didn't look too good to college admission officers. To this day, it's unclear where Nate is, but hopefully he learned his lesson and has taken a better path in life. And while these are both extreme cases, sometimes you can get in trouble for a lot less. I don't know if you guys remember this, but a few months ago, Clavicular got expelled from his university for roiding. I mean, he'll probably be fine, seeing as his main source of income is his bar job and looks maxing skills which he shares online. He does videos with K-Shami now, which indicates he's made it into the big leagues when it comes to online success. So at least he isn't needing after all is said and done. Even then, there are methods of precaution you can take to prevent similar things from happening to you. First of all, unless you're a big user on these forums who post controversial content, or you're a BP YouTuber, you probably don't have a huge target on your back. I mean, I'm a pretty small YouTuber myself, but eventually someone will try to dox me, either because they know me IRL and they happen to see my videos, or because they somehow are a 3000 IQ hacker and got my email and name. In online communities like these, where a more negative outlook on life prevails, members tend to be more bitter and angry. People are going to start problems for no reason, or just watch you get screwed over. The first and most obvious thing you can do is not send people full face pictures. If you choose to ignore my warning, don't send the same picture to multiple people, or mark them all differently, so that if they do get leaked, you can ideally know who the leaker is. Not that it'll make a huge difference once the pictures are out there. Remember, anything you post or send is out there forever. And with AI and reverse image searching only getting more advanced, people can drop a picture in and find out more than you want them to. Speaking of forever, keep in mind that not everyone online is going to be your friend forever. Friendships come and go in this place, if not faster than in real life. You might talk to someone for months or even years on end here, but eventually it could fade out, and then you're forced to come to the realization that they have all your personal information. All it takes is them forwarding it to one person, and the next thing you know, more people than you want have your photos and info. You also don't want to make enemies with people more than you have to. This doesn't mean you have to be a pushover, but don't be unlikable to the point where people have it out for you. Obviously, some people are going to want to see you get doxxed regardless of how much they like you. The problem Clavicular had was that he was making enemies left and right on the forum, as well as on TikTok. Eventually, somebody snitched to his university. When people make fun of you online or insult you, instead of trying to get the last word in, just ignore them. Of course, the "just ignore bullies, bro" advice doesn't really carry over in real life, since you'll get shoved into a locker or something. But on the internet, rage baiters thrive off getting reactions from you. I mean, I've had my fair share of people who just leave hate comments over and over again, trying to get my attention. It doesn't really bother me that much, since as long as I have a small community of people that appreciate my work, that's all I really need. But I see so many guys here on the forums or on YouTube get into drama over literally nothing. I promise you.
I promise you.
It's not that deep. I mean, this isn't even outsiders or large channels starting the problems half the time. Like, you would think it's the 300-pound, blue-haired, polyamorous people on Inkwell tiers doing this kind of stuff. But a lot of the time, it's just other people from our community. If people posted my home address along with my face and name, you better believe most people in the comment section would save that shit, even the ones who like and support the channel. So my advice is don't write inflammatory comments or threats online. I constantly see people on these forums writing stuff about how they want to go ER, or stalker posts similar to Em and Nate about their one-ituses. Make sure to clean and organize your digital footprint. Don't write the same way across multiple websites. Don't bring up the same information, and definitely don't reuse the same username. These are all decent ways of reducing that footprint. Even with anonymity, people can trace back all those not so politically correct things you've said online. You're only one glow post away from ending up on a watch list. And I guess the good news is, with Looksmaxing going mainstream, Inkwell culture is kind of transformed into this counterculture of sorts. Calling yourself an Inkwell now isn't nearly as egregious as it was, say, 5 or 6 years ago, since people just assume you're talking about Looksmaxing. But even then, I wouldn't go around saying this stuff IRL. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate all the messages people send me on Discord, telling me they like my videos and chatting with me, but you truly don't know who's behind that screen. I only made a Discord after pressure from you guys, and while I wasn't looking for friends, I do really appreciate getting to know a little about the people that message me. That being said, some of you guys really overshare sometimes. Like, don't tell me the country you live in, if even that. And then you have the borderline parasocial people who get upset when I don't answer their comments or reply to their Discord messages. Guys, I don't think I'm better than you when I quote-unquote ignore you. When you strip away this channel and the 4,000 subs or so, I'd just be another one of you. But the thing is, I genuinely don't have time with all the problems I have going on IRL, and their channel's way larger than mine in this space, so I can only imagine what they're going through. And I'm not saying everyone online is malicious, or you can't make decent connections online, but those friends you make online still come with a degree of uncertainty. I wouldn't put it past someone to just LARP as someone they're not, to catfish you and have your guard down. They might shower you with compliments to make you feel at ease, and then learn too much. Don't give out your email even if someone says they want to send you something. But if you do anyways, use a burner email that isn't connected to your personal account or information. Don't ever open Google Docs from people here who send you links with your personal account either. If you must, open that doc without being signed in. You really have no idea what potentially harmful files people are sending your way. And that's another reason why I don't want to open up a Discord server. I don't want to dedicate time to cleaning up after spammers or other people who just want to cause problems. There are just too many bad actors in this space. And what started as just a place for people to complain has turned into something sinister. I always knew the forums were filled with people like this, but I thought YouTube would at least attract a somewhat less malicious crowd. Something I used to do is give people the benefit of the doubt on this platform, but that's just something I can't do anymore, especially with my channel growing. I know 99% of you guys mean no harm, but there's always that 1% you gotta watch out for. I've never walked away from an online conversation regretting saying too little, but I have walked away regretting saying too much. But with that being said, without the internet, I wouldn't have a place to share my thoughts or express my creativity, as cliche as that sounds. Making these videos for people who enjoy my content is unironically one of the few things I have to look forward to. And while it does feel like a job at times, I try to remember why I started making these videos in the first place. Thank you for all the support and all the messages on Discord. I've enjoyed getting to know you, and I've had even more insightful and meaningful conversations than in real life at times. It's crazy to think that even on the other side of the world, there are people who relate to the problems I have and share similar sentiments. And maybe, with the proper precautions, the internet isn't such a bad place after all.
This is a certified PSL classic.